Personality development. Attitude is altitude. This is an inspirational story of a disabled person, Nicholas James Nick Vujicic, who has got international acclaim though he has no hands and legs. His life story proved that disability cannot prevent one from reaching great heights if one has strong determination. It is learnt from the life of Nick Vujicic that inner personality is more important than the physical personality. He is a contemporary example of great spirit. He stands as an inspiration to many people into his world in his inspiring qualities, that is, dedication, determination, willpower, perseverance, and hard work. The life story of Nick teaches us that if we fail, we should try again and again until we succeed. Nick's achievements shows us that if we fail, we should try again and again until we succeed, if we try hard enough. Nick was not discouraged with his disability. Nick knew that he had no arms and legs, but he thought that nobody could take away his other abilities with him. He wanted to concentrate on the other abilities he had, such as faith, willpower, and perseverance. As a disabled man, Nick failed to do things successfully like other able people. Whenever he fails, he tries again and again until he succeeds. When Nick was learning how to surf, he was terrified at first, but later he did very well. Nick Vujicic was an Australian. He was born on 4th December 1982 in Melbourne with a rare disability called phocomelia. Nick has a small foot on his left hip. It looks like a chicken drumstick. It gives him balance and enables him to kick with his feet. He writes with a pen and picks things up between his toes. He also plays golf with a heavy stick tucked under his chin. Right from Nick's childhood, his parents did their best to make him independent. Nick's father put him in the water at 18 months and gave him courage to learn swimming. His father taught him how to type with his toe, plastic devices to enable him to hold a pen and pencil at just 6 years old. He encouraged Nick to get into football and skating. Despite the risk of bullying, Nick's parents joined him mainstream school. These efforts helped Nick become independent. At age 8, Nick was deeply depressed and expressed his idea before his mother that he wanted to kill himself. When he was 10 years old, he decided to end his life by drowning himself in a bathtub. But luckily, his attempt was unsuccessful. When he was 13, he managed to happen to read about a disabled man who had achieved great things and helped others. This greatly inspired Nick. He got a hope from him. Then he decided to use his life to encourage others and give them hope. Taking the help from his friends and family, Nick became an international symbol of triumph over adversity. He won the Australian Young Citizen of the Year award in 1990 for his bravery and perseverance. His persistence made him achieve a degree in financial planning and real estate. He went to Hawaii in 2008 and was trained in surfing by Bethany Hamilton, an amazing master in surfing who had her arms bitten by a snake when she was 12. Nick has traveled to over 24 countries. He spoke to groups of up 110,000 people. He asked people to try again and again if they fail anything. He keeps telling the people to keep on getting up when they fall and to always love themselves. He spreads his message of faith and hope around the world, being his story to inspire people all around the world. He made many people realize their inner beauty and personality. He was able to raise many people from the state of despair to the state of great hope. Glossary. Skateboard. A short narrow board with small wheels at each end which you stand on and ride as a sport. Surf. To take part in a sport of riding on waves on a surfboard. Torso. The main part of the body, not including the head, arms or legs. Chicken drumstick. The lower part of the leg of a chicken or other bird that is cooked and eaten as food. Club. A heavy stick with one end thicker than the other. Propeller. A device with two or more blades that turn quickly and cause a ship or an aircraft to move forward. Adversity. A difficult or unpleasant situation. Perseverance. The quality of continuing to try to achieve a particular aim despite difficulties. Vocabulary. Here is the list of adjectives which describe Nick Vujicic. Positive, optimistic, generous, confident, smart, sociable, courageous, reliable, independent, obedient, trusting, valiant, level-headed. Let us look some of the examples that support attributes. Attribute positive. Example from the text for positive is: in spite of his disability, he has become great. Optimistic. He always thinks, if I fail, I try again and again and again. If I encourage just one person, then my job is done. Generous. He spends most of his time delivering motivational speeches all over the world to inspire people. Confident. Though he has no limbs, he gains faith and hope and tries to give them to others. Smart. He appears to be smart and shows his cleverness in learning things. Sociable. He enjoys being with others by delivering speeches, playing football, golf, surfing, etc. Courageous. Despite the absence of his limbs, he did not get discouraged. With great courage, he tries again and again and becomes a football player, a swimmer, and a surfer. Reliable. He is the most reliable person. As an evangelical Christian, he has faith and gives the same to others with his motivational speeches. The people believe his reliability and are attracted towards him. Independent. He independently has done the things what he had wanted to do. Obedient. He seems to be an obedient in accepting the unlucky birth. Given below are words that describe the positive or negative attitude of a person. Put a tick against the positive qualities and a cross against the negative qualities. Sullen, sneaky, exuberant, bossy, cautious, aggressive, competitive, finicky. Here, sullen is a negative attitude. Sneaky is a negative attitude. Exuberant is a positive attitude. Bossy is a negative attitude. Cautious is a positive attitude. Aggressive, it is a negative attitude. Competitive, it is a positive attitude. Finicky is a negative attitude. Imaginative, observant, enthusiastic, outgoing, haughty, interpret, malicious, meticulous. Imaginative, observant, enthusiastic, outgoing are positive attitudes. Haughty is a negative attitude. Interpret is a positive attitude. Malicious is a negative attitude. Meticulous is a positive attitude. Slovenly, obnoxious, stingy, idealistic, affable, logical, mean, cultured. Slovenly is a negative attitude. Obnoxious is also a negative attitude. Stingy is also a negative attitude. Idealistic is positive attitude. Affable is a positive attitude. Logical is also a positive attitude. Mean is a negative attitude. Cultured is a positive attitude. Now, let us take the word or expression which is nearest in meaning to the word underlined in each sentence given below. Water sports aren't Nick's only thing. He also plays golf with a club tucked under his chin. The options are A. Kept, B. Pushed, C. Covered, D. Tried. Here, the nearest meaning for tucked is kept. His distraught mother could not bring himself to hold until he was 4 months old. Here, the nearest meaning of distraught is anxious. Despite the risk of bullying, his parents insisted Nick attended mainstream. Here, the nearest word for bullying is humiliation. Nick, who was teased and bullied, had an electric wheelchair for mobility and a team of carriers to help him. Here, the nearest word for mobility is movement. Nick managed to pull through to become an international symbol of triumph over adversity. Here, the nearest word for adversity is difficulties. The challenges in our lives are there to strengthen our convictions. Here, the nearest word for convictions is beliefs. Now, let us fill in the blanks with the words that match with these descriptions. Boorish, extravagant, meticulous, suave, placid, obnoxious, compassionate, timid, introvert, malicious. Ashok is very unpleasant and rude fellow. I did not talk to him. He is boorish. Srinu is very confident, elegant and polite, but sometimes he does not appear to be sincere. He is so. Sujata is quiet and calm. She does not want to spend time with others. She is interested in her thoughts and feelings. So, She is an introvert. Ramesh is very sensitive. He always shows sympathy for people who are suffering. He is compassionate. My neighbor is such a person that he had feelings of hatred for others. He desires to hurt others' feelings. He is malicious. My father pays attention to every detail. He makes thorough planning in our home. He is meticulous. Prem is an unpleasant person. He always tries to offend people. He is obnoxious. My mother is very calm and peaceful. She does not get excited or irritated easily. She is placid. Rahul is very lively and very confident person. He enjoys with his friends. He is an extrovert. Siddharth is always afraid of speaking in the class. He is timid. Grammar. Defining and non-defining relative clause. Relative clause. Relative clause defines a person or a thing. Clauses are called relative clauses. The relative clause adds extra information. A relative clause modifies the noun or pronouns that goes before it, called antecedent. Example: the woman whom I met at the airport is a famous English poet. The relative clause whom I met at the airport modifies its antecedent, the woman. A non-defining relative clause is preceded and followed by a comma or a hyphen. Example: Nick, who was teased and bullied, had an electric wheelchair for mobility. The brave 26 years old, who is mainly torso, plays football and golf, swims and surfs. Every success story is also a story of great failures. This is an essay written by Shiv Kher, an Indian writer, consoles the people who repeatedly get failures. It gives them hope to continue the efforts till we reach the goal of success. History proves that all stories of success are also stories of great failures. Abraham Lincoln faced many setbacks in his life. At the age of 21, he failed in business. At the age of 22, he was defeated in a legislative race. He failed once again in business at the age of 24. He overcame the death of his sweetheart at the age of 26. He had a nervous breakdown at the age of 27. He lost a congressional race at the age of 34 and a senatorial race at the age of 49, but he did not stop contesting in elections. Finally, he got the biggest success and became the President of the United States of America with firm determination. His courage, willpower, dedication and determination that helped him to get the biggest success in life. Thus, he proved that defeat was a detour and not a dead end. Lee Deforest. Lee Deforest was the inventor of the triodes tube. Though he was publicly humiliated, he did not stop his efforts and made so many inventions. The New York Times editorial questioned the wisdom of the Wright brothers, who were trying to invent a machine heavier than air that would fly. 1 week later, at Nitty Hawk, the Wright brothers successfully invented their famous flight. Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders was the founder of KFC chain restaurants. He had knocked on more than 1,000 doors before he got his first order. He, at the age of 65, worked hard and succeeded in selling food items. We should never give up our effort. This is the ideal to be learned from Sanders' life. Walt Disney. Walt Disney is an American laminator, film producer, director, screenwriter, voice actor, entrepreneur, entertainer, international icon, and philanthropist. As a young cartoonist, Walt Disney faced many rejections from newspapers editors who said he had no talent. One day, a minister at a church hired him to draw some cartoons. When he saw a small mouse, Walt Disney was inspired. That was the start of Mickey Mouse. Thomas Edison. As a child, Thomas Edison was considered to be a stupid boy. In 1914, Thomas Edison, at the age of 67, he lost his factory to fire, which was worth of a few $1 million. Edison watched his lifetime efforts go up in smoke. When he had lost everything to fire, he was not depressed. He felt that there was great value in disaster. He was ready to achieve something new. In spite of disaster, 3 weeks later, he invented the photograph. Thomas Edison was a man with great attitude. All success stories are stories of great failures. When a successful man fails, he bounces back. This is called failing forward rather than backyard. Henry Ford, an American industrialist, the founder of the Ford Motor Company and sponsor of the development of the assembly line technique of mass production. He did not invent the automobile, but he developed and manufactured the first automobile that mainly middle-class Americans could afford to buy. Lee Iacocca, an American businessman known for engineering the Ford Mustang and Ford Pinto cars. He was the famous chairman of the Chrysler Corporation. He was one of the most famous business people in the world. He is the author or co-author of several books, including Iacocca. Ludwig van Beethoven, a German composer and pianist. He was a crucial figure in the transition between the classical and romantic eras in Western art music. He remains one of the most famous and influential of all composers. His best-known compositions include 9 symphonies, 5 concerts, 2 piano sonatas, and 16 string quartets. He also composed other chamber music, choral works. Socrates. Socrates suggested that the burning desire is the only secret to success. One should agree with these ideas. Unless we have a strong passion for something, we cannot achieve it. According to Socrates, the burning desire would be the starting point of all accomplishments. It gives the perfect and adequate motivation to achieve something. I will do it. Nagavara Ramarao Narayanamurthy is well known as the founder of Infosys, one of the leading IT companies in the world. He is an icon of simplicity, uncompromising quality and fairness, apart from being a philanthropist. As a school-going lad, Narayana Murthy was the brightest boy in his class. He could solve the most difficult problems which were very hard for his seniors. He came from a poor but educated family. His father was a high school teacher. As all other students, Narayana Murthy wanted to get admission in the IIT. He appeared for the entrance test and did well. He always dreamt of studying at IIT. He was thrilled to know that he had passed the test with a high rank. There was no chance for him to study at IIT, which was his dream. So, he was very disappointed and sorrowful. When his father refused to send him to IIT, Murthy reacted like an introvert. Introvert means someone who is quiet and shy and does not share his feelings with other people. Murthy never shared his unhappiness with anybody. He remained silent. When his classmates were leaving for Madras, Murthy went to the station to say goodbye to them. Though they were all excited and talking loudly, he remained silent as his wish was not fulfilled. Even after the train had left, he stood there motionless. He believed that he only could change his life by hard work. With great determination, Narayana Murthy reached great heights in his life. Narayana Murthy always believes in the motto, power by intellect and driven by values. According to Narayana Murthy, mind power should be the power of every man. He should be influenced by values. He built a team of intellects who were equally good. He became a pioneer of India's software industry and started the information technology wave. He is none other than Narayana Murthy, the founder of Infosys, a leading IT company in the world. He showed other Indians that it was possible to earn wealth legally and ethically. Vocabulary. One-word substitutes. Words which replace a groups of words or a full sentence effectively without creating any kind of ambiguity in the meaning of the sentence are called one-word substitutes. The main purpose of using one-word substitutes is to express the idea precisely and accurately. Tick the most appropriate one-word substitutes for the following. A person or thing that cannot be corrected. The options are unintelligible, indelible, eligible, incorrigible. The correct answer is incorrigible. A person of good understanding, knowledge and reasoning power. The options for this are expert, intellectual, snob, literate. The answer is intellectual. A person who knows many languages. The options are linguist, grammarian, polyglot, bilingual. The answer is linguist. One who possesses many talents. The options are versatile, prodigy, exceptional, gifted. The answer is versatile. Words inscribed on a tomb. The options are epitome, epistle, epilogue, epitaph. The answer is epitaph.